All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is time for episode number 14 of the MLB Guardcast. I am Mike Vorhies. Across from me, as always, Bryan Shaw. Bryan, how are you, brother?
Uh, as bad as I've been since 2015.
Yeah. Uh,
I hate this.
yeah.
I hate that this team affects my mood, but I mean,
Isn't that the
it
truth?
is a lousy watch right now. It is
It
really
is.
bad to watch.
All right, folks, we're going to dive right into it. But first, if you are looking to spruce up your company's logo or website, or if you are looking for help when it comes to digital arts and marketing, then you need to look no further than Nova Digital Arts. You can check out all of their work at NovaDigitalArts at iCloud.com. Please tell them that the MLB Guardcast sent you. Nova Digital Arts, located in Green, Ohio. Give Derek a call, a text, send him a picture. 234-716-1687. Nova Digital Arts, creating magic since 2007. I need a buzzer, Bryan. I'm hitting the panic button. I'm hitting it right now.
Yeah, I don't blame
Guardians,
you. I don't blame you for
Guardians,
hitting the panic
just
button.
I'm panicked. I have never felt like this in the last several years. But through
Yeah,
49 games, we are 21 and 28, 7 games under 500, 4.5 games back of the Minnesota Twins, only 1 game ahead of the fourth place Chicago White Sox, who have been surging. And we're at the bottom of the wild card race in the American League. I get that it's only May, but we've got a hill to climb here.
well, that's the thing is if you can't dig yourself too deep a hole. Thankfully, they play in the Central. But you have to. It's not June yet.
Close.
See, I'm gonna convince myself that this team has a chance, and I don't think they do. They do, but right now. But what I want to say is that they're would you say 4 games out in the Central?
4.5 behind
Yeah.
the division leading Twins.
So are the Twins not above 500 either?
They are. They are above 500. Let's see. Their record as of right now, 26 and 24.
Okay, so they're 2 above 500, and we're
Yeah,
still
they're
only four
only
games
two
back.
above 500, but they're still above 500.
So I mean, the division's not over in June, thankfully, but let's just say they go on a little bit of a run, and it gets to be closer to August. And you're still, I don't know, 4 games back. Maybe you're 2 games back. You have to really look at yourself and say, are we going to beat anybody from the AL East? Or do you trade pieces and move on to next year? Because I don't want to like flirt in the middle. And I'm afraid that
Right.
that's what's going to happen. Because if you're not going to, if you can't contend, if you can't win a series, if you can't do better than you did last year, or at least the same, then I
Mm-hmm.
think you have to trade Shane Bieber, you have to trade Ahmed Rosario, you have to trade Mike Zunino, and maybe Zach Plesac if somebody will take him as a kicker. But
I think you throw him in a deal and
yeah,
you've got it, I think. I mean,
uh,
to be
but the,
blunt, Bryan, this team is awful to
well,
watch
yeah,
right
they're the
now.
worst offense in baseball. I mean, pick a statistic. We can do it
It's
later, but pick a
unbelievable.
statistic, and I'll tell you that they're last or second to last.
Uh,
So that's the thing is if they somehow surge a little bit because they can and several players are underperforming and I don't think that that'll continue to be the case. You're going to get Tristan McKenzie and Aaron Savali back here very soon, if not this weekend. So that's the thing is there's potential, but they are last. They are last in every statistical category. It's been
pitching.
terrible to watch. It's just annoying to watch.
Mhm.
Give a recap of the last few series. Like cuz
Yeah,
we've
so
won what? One or two series in the last month?
we've won one series since we last recorded, and that
Okay.
was the Angels series, which started the night we actually recorded.
Yeah.
We took 2 of 3 from the Angels. Then we went to Chicago, won 1 of 3. The Mets, we got skunked and got beat in all 3 games. And then the White Sox at home, we were only able to win 1 game.
Yeah. And you got
We've
shut
been
out again.
shut out. We've been shut out 3 times already this month. We're 3-7 in our last 10 games. Since our last episode, the team has gone 4-9.
Well, and then even when they've had
atrocious.
opportunities, even when there's been a chance, they've scored runs or
Atrocious.
something, the bullpen blows it. Class A blows it. So you're frustrated even in that aspect. Because how many games when Naylor was just going nuts did they actually win? One of those?
I think one of them.
So even
they won 2. That was the Angels. That was the Angels series where he went absolutely berserk and hit a 3-run homer Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We won 2 of those games.
Okay, so they won 2 of those.
We should have won. We should have won the 3rd game, that Friday night game
against the Mets.
But the bullpen. But no. The game that so Naylor had those 3 games against the Angels where he went insane.
Yeah,
that Friday night game we lost, and we should have won that game. He put us ahead. The bullpen blew it. Then we came back the next night, didn't do squat for the first 7 innings. Naylor hits the home run. We win Saturday night's game, and then we won Sunday. But then they haven't done anything since. I mean, you played the lowly White Sox, who at one point were statistically awful. We made their pitchers look absolutely Cy Young-esque.
I mean, Dylan Cease is a Cy Young candidate, so I knew
Michael Kopech,
I knew he was going to skunk us.
Michael Kopech yesterday looked amazing for them. We just can't hit. We can't hit. We can't score. Like, it's very frustrating. And then on top of it, you've got the guy that I consider to be the glue of this team, and that's Tito Francona. And you've even got him making questionable decisions that just drive your blood pressure through the roof.
Yeah.
Logan Allen pitches 6 great innings. However, he was starting to get hit, and you could see that he was getting fatigued. What happened? He had De Los Santos in the bullpen ready to go. He didn't go to Santos. He left Logan Allen in, and we lost that game. He's not sitting guys that are struggling. Ahmed Rizzo. I mean, 7 out of the 9 guys on our lineup right now are hitting. Only 2 of them are hitting above 250.
Yeah.
And that's Quan and Jose Ramirez.
Well, and then the game I was talking about was the next weekend. So Friday against the Mets.
Yep.
Naylor had a 5 RBI game.
That's right.
And we lost.
I remember that game.
And they blew it in extras. Because of Francisco Lindor, which add some salt into that wound. So it's just been ugly. It's been ugly. It's been annoying. It's difficult to watch because they get down and then you're like, where's this team? Where are these guys? Where's this fight when they do get down by a few runs? Because they're missing. That fire doesn't seem to be there. And like I said, it's been annoying to watch. They're statistically the worst offense in almost every category. And
we're in the worst division in all of baseball. Every other division has 4 teams above 500, except
we have
the Central.
1. Yeah,
we have 1.
Yeah.
So you're telling me, other than that, like, so the one bright spot, Hunter Gaddis gets his first major league win. Shout out to Hunter Gaddis. When we needed him, he pitched a heck of a game. The offense gave him 2 runs?
Right.
Enough to get the job done, apparently. So kudos to Gaddis. You mentioned that McKenzie and Savali are getting close. You know what that means?
Well,
Roster
that means
coming.
Logan Allen's going to get sent down.
I don't think that he should. This is where it's going to get interesting.
Okay, so who's your rotation?
I would say Bieber. I would say McKenzie, Savali, and then I would go Bybee and Logan Allen. There's my 5. Am I missing anybody? Oh, I forgot Quantrill. So keep Quantrill, move Logan Allen to the bullpen because we need a lefty. because Henches
I don't
isn't
I don't
really
think I don't
doing
think
it for me. But you want Logan Allen pitching every day, so unfortunately, he may be the odd man out
yeah, because he needs to be a part of a rotation. He's a
unless
starter.
you keep him and you send Bybee down
Bybee
because
down.
we need a fifth starter.
Yeah, and I do like Logan Allen as a lefty because we haven't had a lefty starter in a long time.
Since Logan Allen, the other Logan
You
Allen,
know,
and that
Logan
and that
Allen.
didn't work.
Yeah,
That
but
didn't
he
work
was
out for
like
us.
what, a half a season a starter. I mean
Yeah,
a
exactly.
consistent, like it's a consistent good starter that you could
Yeah.
plan on being a part of the rotation.
Was Connor Pilkington a left-hander? Yes, I believe Connor Pilkington was a left-hander. We had one.
Well,
We just sold him.
they only called him up for double headers.
I know exactly.
He
Or
was
when we
Mr.
were desperate.
Doubleheader.
Yes, or when we
So
were desperate.
people may be asking, okay, well, why the change in attitude, from like, people who follow me on Twitter from previous years or from last year around this time or even from the last few episodes. The difference is A, they're the worst offense in baseball, and B, they haven't had a record this bad. They haven't been 7 games under 500 since 2015.
That's the
It
year
was
before we went to the World Series.
Yes, that was the year they traded um not Michael Brantley, Michael Bourne and Nick Swisher.
Uh,
Because those guys were underperforming. So they traded underperforming high contract players. Hint, hint, hint.
mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, and then the next year you go to the World Series. Now they had to make a late season run that year, as they typically do. But that's the difference, is because in years past, when people were acting kind of how we are now, we'd be middling around 500. We'd be 2 games under 500. We'd be 1 game over 500, something like that, and maybe
Right.
be 4 or 5 games back, not 7 under. So this is Tito's worst record in Cleveland since August of 2015. And his worst record overall would be, where was it? 49 and 59, 10 games under 500 on August 7th of 2015. So if we drop to 11 below 500 this year, is that going to happen? I mean, it could happen this weekend.
It
It
could.
could it could happen by
Yeah,
the early next week.
we have the Cardinals in town this weekend. That's going to be a huge series. Thankfully, it's at home, but it doesn't matter. It's not like this team plays better on the road or at home. They suck right now. Unfortunately, I hate to say it.
No, they do.
I
I mean,
I
I'll be
love,
surprised. Attendance will probably be all right because it's St. Louis.
and the weather's supposed to be absolutely gorgeous.
And there's a Josh Naylor jersey giveaway for Saturday. So I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
attendance will be good.
You
But
gonna go? You going Saturday to get your jersey?
I am going Saturday to get my jersey.
Well, there you go.
I'm also going tomorrow.
Nice.
So
Well,
yeah, I've got 2 games.
can you bring us some wins, please?
Don't
Do
ask
everything
me.
you can.
I've seen 1 win this season.
Oh
I didn't see any wins on the road, and I think
no.
I've been to 4 home games so far, and I've seen 1 win overall. So I'm not any luck, but I don't know. I just don't even know what to say at this point, like really, because we talked about, I was looking again. If you want it to not just be so like, you know, everything sucks and I'm dying, like the only thing I
Hopefully we're
can
not
say to
dying.
you is somehow they've gotten unluckier. Because recall we said that last time,
Yeah.
right?
They were lucky last year for sure.
They were lucky last year, but since we last recorded, they've somehow gotten unluckier in those 2 weeks. Their expected batting average is 251. Their actual batting average is 225. So 26 points lower. If they were batting where the expected is,
Mm-hmm.
so 251, that would put them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That would put them 15th. Instead of last, they'd be middle.
Yeah,
It's a
that
big
might be a little bit
difference.
more fun to watch.
It'd be a big difference
They
because
can hit home runs. We know that. They're dead last in home runs.
the thing is too is they actually get on base. The walk rate is actually decent.
Yeah,
But
we can get
then
walks. We
then you
just
don't do
don't.
anything with it.
Right.
So
You talk about that with guys not hitting. Let's quick rundown of where guys are at statistically. Rosario hitting 237, Gabriel Arias hitting 205, Naylor 224, Brennan 213, Jimenez 236, Bell 226, Straw 225, Mike Zunino 170, David Fry 167.
well, David Fry's had 12
He's
at
had,
bats.
but he's doing better than Cam Gallagher, who's not even hitting 100.
Yeah.
He's hitting 0.098. He's had 2 hits all season.
Yeah. If you want to talk about that, Bo Naylor was here for a doubleheader and then they sent him back down.
Yep.
And I know the excuse is, well, he needs to improve behind the plate still and da 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 da. I said this, I think, a month ago. Either these guys are going to get through it or they're going to get traded and we're going to see the young guys in August. One of two things is going to happen. So it looks like they're saying, work it out, figure it out. But in the meantime, you're just burying yourself into a big hole. Like Ahmed Rosario got hot for like a week and then he cooled off again. And
yeah,
I mean, there's so many guys that are vastly underperforming. Andreas Jimenez should be a lot better. Josh Bell was a silver slugger last year. How he just, he still walks a lot, but he should be batting. Like, what did he bat last year? 226 for the season so far is really bad.
Yep.
Some of those guys, I do expect them, to be inconsistent and struggle, but there's several other, even Jose shouldn't be batting 260. So last year, Josh Bell hit 266 on the season. For the Nationals, he hit 301.
40 points higher. Yeah.
His 8-year average is 260. So, what's going on here?
Yeah. Our big
Is it
three,
is it a Chris Valleca thing? Is this an approach thing? Like what?
We blamed who was our batting coach before Valleca? Todd Van Berkeley. We blamed him, and they finally got rid of him. We thought Valleca was going to be better. Like, we know Zunino's not going to hit 300. We know that. He can hit home runs, but he's not going to hit a high average. I expect more out of Josh Naylor, Ahmed Rosario, Andres Jimenez, Josh Bell.
The thing is, though,
just
too,
not producing at all.
With two of those guys, Zunino and Rosario, is not only are they not hitting, they're bad defensively.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're only going to score 2-3 runs a game, you have to be picture perfect in the field.
Right.
And Zunino, I think, leads the league in pass balls. Rosario is statistically the worst defensive shortstop. And that's extremely annoying.
And then
when you have Tyler Freeman, Brian Rocchio, Gabriel Arias, all strong defenders, and they're not playing shortstop.
Well, hold on about Ty Freeman. We'll talk about him in a second. Do you know who else has committed a lot of errors already this year? Our cornerstone at third base, Jose Ramirez. I think he has 6 already this year.
How many did he have last year?
I think 8 all year.
He's at 6 already.
Yeah. And some of those could be on the first baseman. And I'm sure, I mean, obviously, I know errors are a part of the game and they're going to happen. But defensively, we are not good. We're not. We're making simple mistakes fielding. Rosario at shortstop, I'm done with him. I'm back on the train that I was on last year where I'm like, you know what? I understand that he's a likable guy in the clubhouse and
Yeah,
that the
and
fans like him, but we need guys that are going to produce. You've got Tyler Freeman hitting 316, albeit he has 19 at bats and he has 6 hits. Why isn't he playing?
because Tito said he can't find a spot for him.
So Arias is hitting 205. Gabriel Arias is not hitting. Why can't we put Freeman in the lineup somewhere? Put Jose at DH. Put Freeman at third. Let's move some guys around.
Rotate the DH spot.
Yes.
Freeman can play second. Jimenez can DH.
Right.
You know, Rosario can DH. Freeman can play short. Jose can DH. Freeman can play third base. But if you do, I mean, I did say that we should option Arias 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and call up and keep Brian Rocchio. I would take Rocchio at this point. He's killing it in AAA.
Yeah, but you still need a right fielder because Arias has been playing mostly right field. So that's why I said Palacios, because Oscar Gonzalez has come around a bit in AAA, but do you still want him to work on things and continue to get better in AAA before you call him up? Is it just Richie's turn? Basically.
Somebody, I mean, you look at Will Brennan has struggled, Arias struggled, Miles Straw struggle. Like, I love Tito, and I'm not saying that he's doing a bad job, but when does the seat get hot? When does it get warm? Like, we as Cleveland fans got spoiled last year. This team did some incredible things, got into the playoffs, the epic 15-inning game to beat Tampa Bay. SpongeBob had his moment in the sun. We go to New York. We go up 2-0, I believe, against the Yankees. And then we lost the next.
No, 3. They were up 2-1.
2-1. And then we lose the series. Where's the fight in this team? Where's the never die attitude that this team had last year?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, that's what I said earlier. Where's the Guardiat kids? Where's the guys that were, Josh Naylor had some glimpses of that, some moments of that.
Yeah. Look at, you talk about, you said something about Emmanuel Clase. Now 5 blown saves, and his earned run average is 3.52. That's not what we expect from our all-star closer. We don't. I mean, blown saves are going to happen.
Well, I mean, I think he's being overused, and
I agree.
But partially for that is because we can't score enough runs to give enough run support, and then
the games are close late.
Who are you pitching anyway? Who are you gonna? Trevor Stephan had his moment. He had said he wanted to be a closer.
He has 3.
And he blown a save.
He has 3 blown saves, but he has the best ERA other than De Los Santos and Eli Morgan.
And the guy that you hoped could be a setup guy that was at one point in time your 8th inning guy, Karinchak, is a head case and just a complete mess.
2 blown saves. ERA is 4.57, and he has a bunch of pitch clock violations that are hurting him. Henches, we know he's coming back from injury. His ERA is 6.75.
Yeah, it's because he got rocked the other night.
And I mean, it'll come down, but De Los Santos at 2.08.
That was, well, do you want to talk about Tito decisions?
Yeah, let's, I mean, Henches got rocked.
Well, so Henches comes in, loads the bases against the home run leader in Major League Baseball.
Pete
up
Alonso.
To bat.
Yep.
All of Cleveland knew a grand slam was coming when James Karinchak came in. Why didn't Tito? Like all of Cleveland knew that was coming.
I believe I saw on Twitter, because I was listening to the game, and I do believe there were several folks that said, well, if Karinchak's in, the ball's going over the wall, grand slam. And people called it, and it happened. And I was stunned. Even Tom Hamilton, the voice of the Guardians, you hear it in his voice, folks, when he's calling these games. He's just like, he's disinterested right now. And I hate to say that.
Yeah, it's hard. How do you hype
up a team that can't
how do you get excited
runs?
when so I don't know. It's maybe I hate to sit here and just complain for 40 minutes. So like, if things are status quo 2 weeks from now and nothing's changed, maybe we just take a break for 2 weeks and then
Yeah.
come back a month from now. It'll be the end of June, and either we're talking about like, hey, they're finally resurging, or that we start talking trade pieces. But
Yeah. I think
I like
it's,
I'm not sure.
did we,
I'm not sure a lot of people are going to even be interested in listening to. They know the team is bad,
yeah.
so like they don't need to have us tell them that it's bad. If they've
Is it,
watched and they're even watching this podcast or listening to the podcast, they know the team is bad.
right.
So I
Did we
mean,
set the bar too high? Did we expect them
absolutely
to
not.
reciprocate what they did last year? I know I thought they were just going to continue what they did
They
last year.
should. You should expect improvement year to year. Absolutely not. Did we
Yeah.
set the bar too high? Like we is it too much to ask to not be the worst offensive baseball? I mean, I feel like that's not a lot to
Who's
ask.
who's held
Especially
responsible for that?
when you did make changes. What you want to talk about responsibility for some things. There are players that
Yeah.
have been on this team recently that are doing very well. Now, Owen Miller could be a flash in the pan again. He was very good at this point last year for us.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't great defensively at first base last year. So,
Mm-mm.
yes, he is doing fantastic for the Brewers right now. But, him batting 320 or something ridiculous. He's got like more home runs in 3 days than we had in
Yeah.
2 weeks.
How about Oscar Mercado playing for the Cardinals? He's hitting 375.
Well, I didn't know that.
Oscar Mercado, but he hasn't been with them
I was
long.
going to say, he
He
just got
got
called
called
up,
up, but
didn't he?
he's hitting the ball well because obviously the Cardinals are playing him.
I'll tell you the one that really, really, really,
Irritates you?
yeah, especially because he plays the exact position that we have a giant gaping hole in. It's Harold Ramirez.
Yeah. We let him walk.
We just DFA'd him
Hmm?
and then
And look what he's
released
hitting.
him.
And he's doing
He was good
extremely
last
well.
year, and he actually fits the profile too of what they wanted to do. Like
Hmm.
he's a contact hitter. The power has actually just come this year. Like he didn't hit for a lot of power last year. He'd be leading the team in home runs. And he was our right fielder for a while, and
And
we just
it's and
let him
now
walk
and you
away.
wonder why Tampa Bay is the best team in baseball with 37 wins. We have 21.
I mean, here's the thing is I get like you thought you had a slew of outfielders that were up and coming and getting ready to be here.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, as it stands right now you have questions with a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
Oscar Gonzalez, Will Brennan, Richie Palacios, like
You might as well say Miles Straw as well. He's underperforming as well.
well, he
He's
is
hitting
what he is.
225. I would think his batting average would be a little bit higher considering we gave him a nice little extension and he was supposed to be our center fielder of the future.
Yeah.
But he's underperforming. This team isn't hitting when they need to. They're swinging at pitches that are, if as long as the MLB TV app is correct, I'm seeing pitches that are belt high in the strike zone that we're swinging and missing.
Oh,
Like,
they have had several that were down the pipe, like just
yeah.
right down
And
the gut, and either they spit on them or they foul them off, or like you said, I mean, Rosario has had several of those that I've
Jimenez too.
screenshotted. Like, how did
Yeah.
you miss this? Like 93 down the middle, 93 miles an hour. It's not like it was too fast for you, and you just look at it.
Unless he was thinking off speed, who knows? I mean, I'm not a major league ball player, so I'm not going to say that I could do better than what these guys are doing. But
No,
as
but
a fan, I want to see our team perform, and they're
you
not,
expect
clearly.
you expect your team to be able to hit a 93 mile per
If
hour fastball down the middle of the
if
plate.
Rosario isn't going to hit, we need to say goodbye. If Zunino continues to suck, we need to say goodbye. If Josh Bell, our huge free agent signing, continues to suck, he needs to go. I'm
Yeah.
ready to see all the
Well,
young players. Let's
the
see what
thing
we've
is
got
though,
then.
that Josh Bell though, is anybody going to take that $16 million contract next year? Because it's a player option. It's not a team option. And the way Josh Bell is performing, he's not going to get 16 million, excuse me. He's not going to get 16 million on the open market with how he's playing this year. So he's going to want to take that player option, which means some team is going to be on the hook for 16 million. And what if this is a sign of him getting up in age and regressing?
Yeah.
And he's potentially even worse next year. Like, you got to see something out of him for him to even be tradable, because
is it time to trade Shane Bieber? I mean, these are going to be questions that are popping up real quick.
Yeah.
If this team continues to swoon, we're going to be talking about blowing this entire team up and pretty much starting over.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a blow up, because I don't think you have a lot of players that
Not right now, no.
You don't have a lot of guys. It's basically Bieber and Ahmed Rosario.
Yeah.
Like, those are your guys that you're going to trade, and maybe some, maybe some of your glutton of prospects, which we've been begging them to do anyway. But it's not like it's going to be a complete blow up, because we are so young, and most of these guys are, arbitration year one or pre-arbitration. So you're not trading any of those guys. So the team would be largely, it's not going to be like, a huge rip it down, but the few veterans that you do have, you can get a haul for Bieber. You do trade him if if you're completely out of it. You do trade him in August, because you haven't come to an agreement with him. He's going to walk. You don't want to trade him in the off season, because then that lowers the value, because at least when you trade him, it gives a team that takes him, let's say the St. Louis Cardinals, for example, 2 opportunities for a postseason run with him.
Yeah.
So somebody, it's probably going to have to be this August if you're out of contention. Otherwise, you're just wasting his value. And I don't want that to be the case. I don't want to have to trade Bieber, but he doesn't want to sign. Like,
Well, and I think he doesn't want a contract negotiation to be a distraction during the season. I can respect that. However, he's going to command quite a bit of money as a free agent. He is an all-star pitcher. He's really good.
Yeah, but
do we throw money at him? Do we throw $20 million a year at him?
But other teams have picked up on this, or other fans of other teams have picked up on this. He has figured out a way to pitch when the advanced analytics say you shouldn't be successful.
Yeah.
He's found a way to do that. And so, if we can pick up on that, do the Guardians see that? And do they see that as he's a ticking time bomb to regress? And so, do you let him walk?
Do you know what my biggest fear is, Brian? Is that he's in pinstripes as a Yankee. And I've said that for a couple of years now. That's my fear, is that he ends up in New York. I thought Jose would be a Yankee.
So he becomes a Yankee, and then we can crush him when he comes here.
Yeah.
But for example, he's in the 5th percentile for hard hit percentage, meaning players are crushing that ball when they hit it on him, and his strikeout percentage is not that high.
Nope, he's not striking guys out like he used to.
His fastball velocity is in the lowest 10%.
No, maybe the Guardians know what they're doing. I mean, it's only time will tell. You'll know how they're doing in 2 weeks if we record or if we don't record. But Brian, where can they find you and us if they're looking?
I'm at Weathershaw on Twitter, WXSHAW, Bryan Shaw on Facebook. We are Guardcast MLB on Twitter. Mike, how about yourself?
I'm on Facebook and Twitter at Mike Vorhies. Hopefully in 2 weeks we're in such a better mood, and maybe they go on an 8-2 run. Maybe it's then over the next 10 games they go 8-2.
I'd be
Maybe
thrilled. I mean, they need a jolt, and
they need something.
I just it just seems like every day is exactly the same. And that's kind of the irritating part, is like there's no change. It's just like, okay, we'll just try out the same lineup and see if something's different. And
Yeah.
nothing's different.
We'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting. The road does not get any easier. It is an uphill climb for them to get closer in the division, to get closer in the wild card. I mean, it unfortunately it is what it is, and we'll see how this team goes this weekend. I mean, the weather's supposed to be lovely, brilliant, great weather. Maybe the bats finally wake up. I don't know. But I think it's
Yeah, we'll
time to hit
see.
the panic button. So we'll see in 2 weeks, guys. If you see an episode, you know that we're better. If you don't, then check on us. Make sure that we're okay. Do a wellness check. Make sure we're okay. But
All right. Well, Mike, I hope to talk to you in 2 weeks. How about
as
that?
do I, Mr. Shaw. Enjoy the Cardinals series this weekend. Hopefully, with the Naylor jersey, you get a win. Maybe tomorrow night you get a win. Maybe some fireworks. We'll take what we can get right now as Guardians fans. We'll take small victories.
Yeah, and then thank you to all of our veterans on our upcoming Memorial Day. Thank you for your service.
We'll see you in 2 weeks. Hopefully.
Talk to you soon.